Tibet was horrible before China. Pick up a history book. That's right, Coda. Good job. The kids are all right. The Dalai Lama recently won the Grammys, and people are asking, is the CIA paying him again? As a meditation teacher with over 15 years of experience, I think I can shed some light on this Dalai Lama Tibet thing. Dharma instrument made from slaves' lower leg bones. Dharma instrument made from the skulls of slaves. What is Dharma? Fa. Dharma means way, method. So there's many dharmas, 很多法. So I'm going to do my best to tie this all up cleanly, but it's going to take some history, background, and connecting some ideas. So bear with me. This is me teaching meditation at a university with a monk. It was a really great experience. So what does my meditation experience have anything to do with Tibet and the controversy around the Dalai Lama? Well, first we have to get into the three branches of Buddhism: Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. In Tibet, the main line is Vajrayana, considered the most powerful line of Buddhism, the fastest results. But in this seeking of speed and power, there can be many problems. Buddhism in Tibet mixed with Bon Shamanism. And in shamanism, there can be a lot of intense, extreme practices. These are Aghoris, Hindu sadhus, Hindu sages who have some extreme spiritual practices. They live in extreme conditions and they do extreme things, to put it lightly. The left-handed path, the left hand of God, the left side of spirituality, this path is associated with justice, discipline, and power. All of these things can very easily corrupt a human being. And meditation can actually make us more susceptible to darkness, to failing, because that is part of the lesson of consciousness and mind. I attended an event with the Dalai Lama once at a university. And the thing about human beings is humans are the most powerful drug for another human. So when you have 300 humans in a room and they're all enthralled by the speaker, they're all sort of worshiping the Dalai Lama, there will be an intoxicating feeling. You'll feel like you're a part of something and there's a bit of a high. So people think they're having a spiritual experience, but really you're just having a human energetic experience. This is not unique to the Dalai Lama. Spiritual figures like Osho, lots of them. And the funny thing is, how come all of these spiritual leaders have so much connection with carnal lower body urges? Because meditation and spiritual practices stir up the kundalini, the creative force, which is a sexual force. It is life energy. And this energy is very powerful, which is why so many spiritual leaders and gurus fall into the trap of sexuality and harems. And basically every spiritual circle that I researched in Vancouver, they were all just excuses to get busy and get naked and meet people. What I'm trying to say is spirituality and meditation has a dark and a light side, just like everything else. And oftentimes, the media tries to portray spirituality as this everything is great, toxic, positive nonsense. We all want to believe in the good, and compassion is great, but compassion is easy to develop, whereas wisdom is difficult to develop. And compassion and wisdom are intertwined in Buddhism. So before democratic reform in 1959, monasteries in Xizang, Tibet, had private jails with instruments of torture. A letter from the Xizang local government said, "During the service, food will be offered to the hungry ghosts, for which a corpus of fresh intestines, 2 skulls, some mixed blood, and a whole human skin are urgently needed. Please have these delivered without delay." So again, this goes back to what I'm talking about with Bon Shamanism and Aghoris. They look at life differently. Human sacrifice is justified through spiritual talk, riddles, and frankly, I think it's perverted nonsense. The New York Times reported on this too back in 1979. This is an exhibit of a flayed skin from a sacrificed child in Potala, Tibet. I have to blur out this image for TikTok. Human sacrifice was common in the old regime. The Dalai Lama is supposed to be the reincarnation of Avalokitesvara, Guan Yin, the goddess of infinite compassion. And frankly, I don't know what connection Buddhism has with Judaism. And I've studied Buddhism a lot, over thousands of hours of meditation. I don't see the connection myself. And if we're going to talk about infinite compassion, then I just think about all the kids that were unalived in Gaza. And for the people that defend it and say, well, those kids will turn into terrorists, I say that's lacking in both compassion and wisdom, which is what meditation is supposed to develop. When we meditate on the world, on how much suffering there is in this world, how much suffering there is in humanity, it's supposed to awaken compassion and wisdom. But here I just see some strange political games and media games. Before Tibet was modernized by China, Tibet was a brutal caste system, a religious theocracy, autocracy. You had high-ranking religious figures, Rinpoches, who would say that their excrement, after going through a religious process, is medicine for the common people. And the common people lived in terrible conditions, horrible literacy rate, while the upper class, the Rinpoches, the Dalai Lama, they lived in luxury. And again, there were slaves. There was extreme exploitation of humans. And the CIA was training some of these monks to resist China for the Tibet independence movement, while China was being very patient with Tibet. There were several talks with the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama promised reform. It never happened. So eventually, the People's Liberation Army moved in, and the Tibetans, the monks, they surrendered, and that was that. And now Tibet is very modernized due to Tibet's geographical region and scarcity of resources. Working with a modern China and a modern system is best for Tibet. Xizang. We've always called Tibet Xizang, even in Taiwan, growing up. Xizang, Western Treasure Store. So this has turned into an 8-minute video. I hope I've shed some light on the situation. Meditation is amazing, but spirituality and meditation is not all love and light. There is darkness, yin and yang. And as we are all seeing now, there is a lot of darkness in this world. Is anyone going to get arrested? Probably not. Most of this stuff already came out in 2016, if not earlier. The only hope is for every individual human being to awaken. The peasants must awaken and unify